Sunshiny weather heralds the inauguration of the 32nd President of the United States. Some spectators were waiting since dawn to view the spectacle, despite the chilly Capitol weather. All the trappings consistent with the presidential incoming are available, and everyone who can possibly make it goes to Washington. Leaving Blair House, the Trumans and Vice President Barkley are greeted by an enthusiastic crowd as they start down the mile-long stretch of Pennsylvania Avenue leading from the White House to the Capitol building. People hang from the rafters to attend this democratic unveiling of the Truman Fair Deal policy. For 29 minutes, the United States has been without a chief executive. The president's term expired at noon under the Constitution, and necessary delays halted the ceremony. As the world pauses to await the attitude toward international policy as pronounced by the chief spokesman for the United States, the group, a trifle late to be sure, arrives at the scene. Mr. Truman, Vice President Barkley, and other members of the official party approach the inaugural stand fronting the Capitol building. This is a new page in American history, and the audience attends in silent reverence as the sacred oath of office is administered by Chief Justice Fred M. Vinson.
You, Harry S. Truman, do solemnly swear.
I, Harry S. Truman, do solemnly swear.
That you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of your ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
The president takes the opportunity to condemn communism.
I accept with humility the honor which the American people have conferred upon me. I accept it with a resolve to do all that I can for the welfare of this nation and for the peace of the world. In performing the duties of my office, I need the help and the prayers of every one of you. I ask for your encouragement and for your support. The tasks we face are difficult. We can accomplish them only if we work together. It is fitting, therefore, that we take this occasion to proclaim to the world the essential principles of faith by which we live and to declare our aims to all peoples. In the pursuit of these aims, the United States and other like-minded nations find themselves directly opposed by a regime with contrary aims and a totally different concept of life. That regime adheres to a false philosophy which purports to offer freedom, security, and greater opportunity to mankind. Misled by that philosophy, many peoples have sacrificed their liberties, only to learn to their sorrow that deceit and mockery, poverty and tyranny are their rewards. That false philosophy is communism. Communism is based on the belief that man is so weak and inadequate that he is unable to govern himself and therefore requires the rule of strong masters. Democracy is based on the conviction that man has the moral and intellectual capacity as well as the inalienable right to govern himself with reason and justice. The initiative is ours. We are moving on with other nations to build an even stronger structure of international order and justice. We shall have as our partners countries which, no longer solely concerned with the problem of national survival, are now working to improve the standards of living of all their people. We are ready to undertake new projects to strengthen a free world.
Speaking for peace and freedom, the president stressed unfaltering support for the United Nations. a program for world economic recovery and increased world trade, strengthening of peace-loving nations against aggression through such treaties as the North Atlantic Agreement and the Western Hemisphere Pact, and making United States scientific and industrial progress available to other free peoples who are now living in conditions approaching misery.
Steadfast in our faith in the Almighty, we will advance toward a world where man's freedom is secure. To that end, we will devote our strength, our resources, and our firmness of resolve. With God's help, the future of mankind will be assured in a world of justice, harmony, and peace.
Mr. Truman's message is hailed by a receptive audience. Following the inaugural ceremony, the President leaves the Capitol, flanked by his Battery D buddies acting as an honor guard. Upwards of 1 million Washington residents and visitors see Harry Truman's triumphal procession with Vice President Barkley to the White House reviewing stand. This is Harry Truman's day, the day of the political underdog, the day of a man who, through grim courage, rallied a free nation behind him at the polls. From trim West Pointers on, every branch of service is in the line of march to do him honor. For on this, the most elaborate inaugural in our history, the nation pauses to pay homage to a farm boy who typified the greatest of all democratic traditions by rising to the highest office in the land. Fittingly enough, it falls to the Missouri float to head the parade of state exhibits in the 7-mile procession. Campaign enmities are forgotten as Dixiecrat states send their floats to honor the leader of their party. America has a new president, its 32nd. Elected in the tradition of a free people, the might of America, its resources, its hopes and confidence lie behind their choice. This is the way of democracy. This is the way of a people who won their freedom the hard way. It is the way of a people who will put their trust in Harry S. Truman and Alben Barkley in the 4 years to come.